Welcome back to Ali, Atrévete a lo Imposible, Season 2, Episode 2. Today we have Julio Domingo. Julio, I appreciate your time. This is our first interaction in person. I appreciate all of the offline conversations that we've had. But I really enjoy your energy as a person. I think who you are as a person from the small conversations that we've had. I think you are an amazing person. I really appreciate the time that you've taken to come on and be on the podcast. I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited to have this conversation, not only because we also share, we have something in common, and we both come from Guatemalan background. So any chance that I personally have to elevate and also showcase a fellow Guatemalan, it's an absolute blessing and privilege. So I'm really excited for this episode. But let's go ahead and get into it. Who is Julio Domingo?
So Julio is, I would say, a leader who cares about people. So growing up, like my mom, she taught me just always to care about people and to just really look into like people's hearts and like just see the good in everyone. So I've just kind of grown up with that. And yeah, so like my involvement with college kind of has been centered around that. The stuff I've just been studying, it's just like all about caring for people and just like helping people in any way that I can.
You are a junior at the University of South Carolina, a fellow Gamecock. You also hold different positions here at the university. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so currently I'm the president of LASO, the Latin American Student Organization. So I've been a part of LASO since my freshman year. I got on the board the spring semester of my freshman year since there was an open position. So I applied, and ever since then I've just been involved with LASO. But besides LASO, I also work for the Center for Civil Rights History and Research in their house in the Thomas Cooper Library. So I currently work as an undergraduate assistant, so I just help with like different programming and events that they host, and also just work in the archives, so whatever things they need me to do, I work there. And also I'm part of MOST, which is the Multicultural Outreach Student Team, and they talk with like prospective high school, college students for USC, and just kind of tell them about like the student life here.
What is student life like here?
It's really great. We have a lot of organizations here at USC. There's just always something as well to do, like out on Green Street, and it's just really cool and amazing to just like meet new people every day. Like if you go to Russell, which is like the dining location, also where a lot of organizations host their meetings, it's just really cool just seeing like a vast array of people, and just like you never know, you might come meet like a new friend or something. So it's really amazing.
Why did you? So you are currently president of the Latin American Student Organization. What made you run for president?
Honestly, like I wasn't gonna do it. I think it's just like myself, like I didn't think I was capable of doing it. And that's something I'm working on, like making sure like I don't underestimate myself, or just try to like make sure like I don't cut myself from opportunities. But initially, like I wasn't gonna run for president. I was just gonna do community service director, and I really enjoyed doing community service, which was my position last year. So my friends really motivated me. So I really do thank them so much for helping me to see like I am capable of holding that position and like actually leading LASO and just helping it grow and just make it better.
What do you think? I'm curious because I think everyone's perspective on leadership changes, even like within an individual, because you have different experiences in life, and I think across different individuals it definitely changes for sure. But what do you think makes what do you think are the characteristics of a good leader?
I would say someone that listens to everyone, even though you might not like incorporate like all of the ideas or the feedback from people. Just listen to them, because that way you get like different perspectives from like other people, and you get to see like a different side that you didn't see before. And also it just helps you like improve things as well. Like if you just listen to people, because if you're just like doing all the work or just wanting to do all the work and not really listening to people or taking like their advice, then I feel like that creates like a tension between people, because it's just like you doing everything and then like you don't give people like a chance to like have a voice. Mm.
Was there anything in your, let's say, like teenage years or even when you were younger, different moments or things that you can remember that helped influence this desire to be a leader?
So I would say like my high school experience. So I went to a predominantly black high school, and the culture there, I guess, just like the way the guidance counselors and like the teachers, they didn't really foster just like students really succeeding after graduation. It was just more so you get your high school degree, complete your required courses for it, and then that's it. So just seeing that, I feel like I just wish like the teachers and like all the staff could have supported the students more, including myself. So I guess just like my experiences there, I just feel like has helped me a lot and has ignited like a passion for me to like help people and just like really just doing whatever I can in any way that I can to help people.
So did you have plans to go to university post high school?
No. So my my freshman and my sophomore year, I just had the idea in my head that I was just going to graduate and then go to work. Like college was not an option for me at that time, since I knew like the cost and also just like the access to the information. I didn't really know much about like how I can get into college or the financial support that can help me to get into college. So I just always consider work. I was thinking about doing like a real estate, going into real estate school to get my license for it. But then once my English teacher for my sophomore year, this was my spring semester, she told us about this project she assigned us to do. And basically we were just supposed to talk about like our graduation plans or post-graduation plans and what we want to do after we graduate. And so from there, I just really started thinking more about college, because then I realized like, hey, maybe I can actually go into like business, which is weird now that I'm not in business. But yeah, so from there, like it really just taught me or just showed me that college is an option for me. And from there, like I just started talking to my friends about it, and just kind of also just looking it up on my own, just doing my own research on like how I can get into college and what colleges are like affordable or accessible to me.
What advice would you give to other students that may not have those resources or may not have kind of like a similar experience where, as you mentioned, like the staff and the teachers weren't necessarily supportive of post-high school plans, or maybe weren't providing that information properly? What advice would you give to someone that's looking into other like opportunities and kind of doing that research on their own?
I would say speaking up more for yourself and advocating for yourself, knowing that if you want to do something, then you should also like just let people know, and that way they can also like show you the way. And if they don't want to, then that's, at least you advocated for yourself, So I would say like a big advice is just advocate for yourself and don't be afraid to like just reach out for help. Mm-hmm.
Do you have any siblings?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I have 3 sisters and a younger brother.
Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the second oldest.
How do you think they perceive who you are now and who you are becoming?
I would say they are proud of me. I don't really like to say this, but I do think they do look up to me in a sense. Because I know I am the first to go to college. So I know it means a lot to them as well, because they also want to go to college and like do that. Just kind of like study as well. So in a sense, like I am a role model to them, even though I don't really like to like put that out. I don't know why, but it's just like I really don't. But yeah, I would say like I'm a role model to them, and they just like look up to me in that sense. And so I try to help them as well, especially like my youngest sister. I know she's really considering college. and going into nursing. So I am showing her like kind of like what I did in high school to like help me get into college. So I'm just kind of like guiding her at the moment.
You don't know why. You said you don't know why you don't like calling yourself a role model. That's interesting. Do you think it's because you feel undeserving of that title?
I guess so, but it's just more so like just being humble as well. I guess like another value like my mom taught me was just like be humble, and so I don't really like even like just calling myself like a leader or just anything in general. I don't really like to like flex it, you know. Like I just like to be humble as much as I can. Just like I don't know if that makes sense, but like just be humble.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you working on your self-confidence as a person?
I think if I'm being honest, like I'm still working on it. It's just something I'm still working on. I feel like even though like I am taking on like more leadership roles and just opportunities, it's still something that I lack. So it's definitely something that like I'm still working on, and I do hope like one day like I can become like more confident. But yeah, it's like if I'm being full transparent, yeah, it's something I'm working on.
And the reason I say this is, the reason I ask is because I believe I felt the same way too. In terms of like, I don't know, maybe shying away from different titles or from different characteristics because I felt as though it resembled some form of pride, you know, where it's like, oh, I'm this and this and this and that, you know what I mean? And it just, I don't know how I perceived that was just like, oh, I don't want to be this because, you know, people might think that I'm too full of myself or that I, you know, am arrogant. Big word. Big. I think arrogant is the perfect word that I would use to describe it. But I also think like it's been a journey for me too, though. So easier said than done. But it's also important to proudly, I think, like say I've worked hard to be in the position that I'm in today. I very proudly and humbly lead. I very proudly and humbly try to inspire others, because I feel as though sometimes when we shy away from these things, sometimes we don't allow ourselves the opportunities that come with claiming these titles. You know what I mean? Because for example, in an interview, right? Not an interview like this, but in like a job interview, and I think this is where I kind of learned a bit, but when you're talking about your leadership positions, right? It's like I was able to lead. I was able to have an executive team of these individuals, and I had an awesome team, and they made me a better person. But I was able to have the discipline and the responsibilities. I was able to balance the responsibilities and be able to have a successful year within my organization. Or also, I was able to go get a bachelor's degree. You know what I mean? I was able to go study political science. I was able to do this and that. I am the first one to come out of my family, and I am so proud of that. And it took me a lot of hard work and dedication, but I am so proud. And you rock it. You know what I mean? Like you're like, and I'm not saying you don't do that. Not at all. But I think sometimes when we shy away from that, we close ourselves to different opportunities that come with it. And self-confidence is something that I think people work on their entire lives. You know what I mean? You have to consistently remind yourself that you're that guy. You know what I mean? I'm Julio Domingo, you know? I rock it with so much pride. I am president of LASO. I am... I'm studying political science. I have siblings that are going to go out and do amazing things, and I am able to have the resources to share with them. You know what I mean? Like because I was able to work this hard, now I'm able to give all this information to my siblings, and now they're able to meet me or even better excel. You know, because that's always the goal. You know, you go out, you do something, and the goal is always that the next generation can do more.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I agree.
I don't know, maybe self-confidence is something I'm working on too. But I definitely would like to say I'm not much older, but it's important to have a certain level of pride with everything that you do, and don't let anyone take it from you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hold it near and dear, because I think sometimes we shy away from all as well. And maybe this is just me. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just projecting, but you know, I think sometimes there's a phrase of like, oh, there isn't a seat for me at the table. Like, I'm bringing my lawn chair, you know what I mean? And I'm putting it down right at the table, and that's where I'm going to be, because I worked hard to be where I'm at. I've worked hard carrying my lawn chair everywhere, and I'm going to put it down right here, and I'm going to be at this table. I made this spot for me. So, yeah. I don't know.
That's really great advice. Yeah, so I really appreciate you like kind of just touching on that.
Yeah, it's important. It's a life journey, though. You know what I mean? To be able to be self-aware and acknowledge the fact that like it's something I'm working on. It's the first step. That might actually be a few steps in, but it's a big thing. Getting back to it, you are president of the Latin American Student Organization currently. You're also studying political science. You're a junior. So you're a few months into your junior year. What does it feel like?
Surreal. I think because like how much I've made it this far in college, and just like the amazing people I've met so far. But also kind of sad because it's like it's about to end. You know, the 4 years about to end. So just I'm really enjoying it. I'm really loving what I'm studying right now. So I also recently added an education minor. So my education courses, they've really helped me a lot. I'm just like learn about the field of education, which is what I wanted to post-graduation. So yeah, it's really great.
Do you know, so let's see, beginning of third year, do you know what you want to do post-grad?
Currently, not really. Not anything like really specific, but I do know I want to go into the field of education. So I am considering probably doing a master's. So possibly teaching like in high school, becoming a history teacher. That's like a possibility, but also maybe going to like another graduate program. So I've looked into like different graduate programs across like the East Coast, because that's where I want to stay. Just dealing with education, like policies. So I'll take one of those two routes, but I'm not tied down to like either at the moment.
What advice would you give to other individuals that are kind of in the same boat, where they're kind of exploring their options? University is an interesting spot because you have some individuals that like they know what they're going to do, and that's what they're working towards, and they know the companies that they want to work for. What's it like navigating a little bit of maybe some uncertainty?
Yeah, I would definitely say reach out again, advocate for yourself, and just kind of tell people like what you're thinking about, especially your advisors. So once I started telling my advisor, hey, because I initially was on the pre-law track and wanted to go to law school, but then I just kind of realized taking this education course that I was more passionate about education than law. So definitely advocate for yourself and let your interests and your passions really speak up for yourself, because that way you're not going to be like doing something later on that you really don't enjoy, as opposed to like doing something that you could have done, and that you really have the passion for.
How did you navigate that change where you were like, because you came in saying law, right? How'd you navigate that change?
It was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. So my freshman year, I came in saying, okay, I'm gonna do political science, which is why I majored in political science, because I knew like at that point I wanted to go into law school. Like there was not going to be another option. It was just going to be law school, and we're going to get the JD degree. But then my sophomore year, that's when I first took my education course, and I realized that education is like really what I really care for or more passionate about. Because like growing up, my siblings and I, like we would play school, like act as like I would be their teacher and then I would teach them. And so like I remember growing up, like I just always had a passion for education and teaching and just helping people. Um, so I knew when I first took my first education course that I really loved it. You know, like it was one of the best courses I've ever taken compared to like my political science or just like all any other courses I've taken. And so from there, I took another education course my spring semester last year. And from there, like I realized like, yeah, this is what I want to do, like study and just be involved more in the field of education. So then I started, I told my advisor about like my change. At first, like he wasn't, I wouldn't say like he wasn't any help, but like at first, like I felt like he wasn't, but it was because like I wasn't like expressing like my change or like my passion for education. And then once I started advocating for myself and just kind of speaking up and letting my passion just speak for itself, I felt like that's when he started helping me more, and I started getting like more resources for it and stuff.
I think being able to give yourself that flexibility of allowing change and evolution to occur is really important. I would say it's difficult because I came in thinking I was going to study international business. I took a Mandarin course. I didn't finish it.
I took Mandarin for 2 semesters and then I stopped.
You took it for 2 semesters though? How'd it go?
It was good, but it was difficult. Like, cause I forgot what it's called, but like the characters, they have to like physically draw. It's a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did not finish it. Going back to your parents, where are your parents from?
So my mom is from Chiapas, Mexico, and my dad is from Guatemala.
Have you been to Chiapas?
Never. I've never actually been to both countries, so
any
I'm
plans?
looking forward to.
Any plans?
Hopefully, after graduation, I'm hoping I can go to both countries and just kind of see like the culture of myself and like learn like my parents' history and where they're from.
I've been to Tapachula. Fun fact, because my grandparents live about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Tapachula, so they live like in the north part of Guatemala. So I've been to Chiapas. I didn't spend that much time there, but very beautiful. Very beautiful. So, Chapin and Mexicano. Mm-hmm. What's it like?
I would say it's really great because I get both cultures. I would say it is kind of difficult though because sometimes I'm like, okay, I feel like maybe I should be like more Mexican or more Guatemalan, or I just feel like I don't know as much for both. So I am trying to learn like now, knowing that I am both. You know, like. I guess like a couple of years later back, like I didn't really understand like I was like both countries. So now that I've like really realized and just become more proud in it, like realizing that I am Mexican, I am Guatemalan, I've just taken more interest in like learning about like the my parents' history, like their culture and like what they do and stuff.
How do you throw in also being American?
That it gets a lot like very complicated and like very difficult, I guess, because it's just hard, like how Selena said it, like sometimes you just feel like you have to be like more American for like people who may not be Latino, and then also just like you may not feel Hispanic enough for people when you like to meet other Latinos. So it is like difficult, I would say, but I also feel like it's great too because you get like two. For myself, like I get 2 cultures, and then also like being American, that's another culture itself, and just like learning the different I guess like music taste and then like food wise, it's like really amazing, I would say overall.
What's your go-to music?
R&B.
Wait, okay, wait. Oh, okay. I don't know why, but I was thinking about Guatemala and Mexico both, and I was like, I wonder what music he would relate to more, but. R&B. Okay, what's your favorite artist?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite artist, but I just love R&B music in general, like the 2000s R&B. I love R&B. And then also reggaeton. It always pumps anyone. Like it makes their day.
Yeah.
It really motivates me. Bachata as well. Romeo Santos is my favorite artist.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I'm going to his concert in 2 weeks, so I'm really excited for it. But yeah, I would say like I have like a good taste, like wide range of music.
Yeah, Yeah, the intersection of it all is something that I'm also trying to understand, and I don't know the history enough of when the like Latino population really spiked in terms of like when our parents were coming over. But right now, I think it's super interesting. And like I said, I don't know where that spike's at. But the first generation of Mexican American, Guatemalan Americans, at least from my perspective, I see it as the first generation, but I'm also in this generation, so I could be completely wrong. And we're also in South Carolina. That's another thing to note, right?
Yeah.
Being in another large Latino population state like California or Texas, I'm sure their experience is different, but at least in South Carolina specifically, I feel like those individuals that did come over, their kids are starting to get older. And it's been really interesting because it's like, what habits are we taking and what habits are we trying to unlearn from the previous generation that came over? You know, I don't know if you feel the same way, but like, for example, I know during my year, U.S., I don't know what it's at right now, and I could be wrong with this statistic, but the population of Latino, Latina, Latinx students at USC was like 4%. It was super low. Where's it at right now?
It's still at 4%. Like,
oh, okay. So maybe my theory is wrong. But it was at 4% my year. I guess it hasn't been that long.
I know
too.
it has like increased. I know for sure because like I do see like more Latinos around, so I feel like that number has like grown. But I feel like on the website they just haven't like updated.
Oh, okay. How would you say? I believe, as of lately, now take into consideration my limited. I'm born and raised in South Carolina. Lived in Oklahoma. Lived in Michigan. Came back to South Carolina. So my perception is mine, right? My opinion is mine, related to my experiences.
Yeah.
But I feel as though there has been an increase in appreciation of our culture. So how would you say Lasso as an organization and like being with other students, how would you say it has influenced? Has there been an influence? Do you think there's a stronger appreciation? Has that been your experience with, I guess, your exposure to Lasso?
I would say so. Definitely for me, I guess like my perspective or like from my viewpoint, I've taken more pride in my cultures. Just being Latino in general, I think Lasso has helped me in that way. Just meeting other people, knowing that you're going to be around other people who are Latinos or people who appreciate our culture, I feel like has helped me a lot, and just taking pride. And also everyone as well, like just taking pride in being Latino or like being an ally of the Latino community, and that way like USC can see it, you know, or like everyone on campus can see it and see us and like see our visibility on campus, which is something that I really wanted to emphasize or focus on this year. It's just like increasing our visibility on campus, because I feel like sometimes or more than often we're overlooked here on campus, and our contributions, especially from Latino student leaders, are often overlooked or not really recognized. So I really try to like really help us and like whatever events that Lasso puts on, and also the other Latino student organizations on campus. I just really try like in any way that I can to like help increase our visibility. That way like USC can see it, and it's kind of like a statement message to like we are here and we are gonna stay here forever.
Forever to thee. Latinos. Yep. I'm just kidding. It's forever to thee. Yeah. That's absolutely beautiful, because representation matters. Being present matters. Being proud of everything that you are matters. Embracing, I know. Embracing your culture and the uniqueness of it. Like, for example, my grandparents come from indigenous descent, making my parents and myself also from indigenous descent. And I think that's something that I am trying to further understand. Being here, having the opportunities that I have now, like I'm like super proud of being of indigenous descent, which I don't think like that same pride is held in the motherland itself. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you think?
I would say it just goes back to the representation. Of course, like if you don't see people being represented or just in all different spaces, then of course that representation is not going to be there. And then that pride, that sense of pride, I feel like it's low. If that makes sense. So yeah, I would say I agree with what you were saying. And definitely, like again, representation matters. That way people can see themselves and like take pride in being in that, whatever it is that they identify with.
Yeah. I think the first big individual that came into the spotlight, what was that Netflix movie?
Roma.
She was the first like indigenous woman to come onto the big screen, and it was like, oh wow, there's someone that looks like me that's also representative of someone that comes from indigenous descent. I agree, representation matters. To be able to see that on a big screen and her embracing everything about her culture, right, is absolutely beautiful. Was there anything in your younger, because you're still so young, but anything, you know, when you were younger than where you're now, that you think helped shape the character and help shape and build the character that you hold today and who you are today?
I would say my mom. I know I've been shouting her out, but she really like matters a lot to me and like has helped me a lot in life. And I think just the things she would do for like my siblings and I has helped me a lot. Just like the sacrifices she will make for herself, because I know she never had the opportunity to go like to school or finish school. And I know she gave up a lot of her passions in life for us to like succeed, you know, and where we're at right now, like my siblings and I. So I would say like my mom and just like everything overall, like anything that she would just do for us, like has helped me a lot.
So your mother, you hold your mother very near and dear to your heart. Would you say she is your why? Like she is why you do what you do?
I would say so. That's like my biggest motivation in college, because I know like I'm not just, you know, getting the degree like to get money. I also like want to help my mom, so she can stop working as well, and that way like I can just like help her, because I know she's given so much for us, and I want to do the same for my mom and like let her rest and stuff.
Is your goal to retire her?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful goal. That is a beautiful goal. That's I would say I don't know if many people share that, but I personally share that, like the ability to, I think, really show your parents that everything that they sacrificed for you to be where you're at today is like worth it. You know what I mean? I remember telling that to someone, having a conversation with someone about that and saying like everything I do is for my mother. I love my mother too. I will shout my mother out every single day. But the question that they asked me is, does that burden ever get heavy? So that's a question I'd ask you. Does that burden ever get heavy?
I would say so. Because it's just a lot to take in, because like I know like I have that specific goal, or just like helping my mom in general. So sometimes it does get a little overwhelming, but I know like at the end of the day, like it'll be worth it. And I know like she gave up so much of her own passions and her time to do it, and I know she did it out of love. So it's like only right for me to like do the same, you know, like give up like not like all my passions, but like, you know, kind of do the same, kind of like sacrifice myself in a way, and just like help her, because I know like I said, she did so much for us, and I know like it was out of love. So in the same, it's just out of love from myself as well.
Sacrifice some of your passions. Do you mind if we dive into that?
I guess like for me personally, like right now, I guess like moving, because USC like that was like my one of my top choices, but like since I am from Colombia, I decided to stay here just because like my mom, I didn't want to like leave her or like be away from her, so I knew like I couldn't like go anywhere else. Essentially, like I knew USC was just like really my only choice as well. And I don't regret it because like obviously like I've met so many people and like I'm meeting you now, so I wouldn't regret it. But I guess like sacrifice, or I wouldn't say like any specific, but it's just like more certain things you might have to give up to like achieve your goal.
The reason I ask is because I shared the same sentiment, and I don't know if I'd say shared because that's past tense, but I understand. I understand where you're coming from because I felt the same way. I wouldn't change what I studied, but sometimes in my classes that I didn't really enjoy as much, I would kind of sit there and be like, I'm doing this for my mother. It's a sacrifice that I have to do. So I understand that. And like I said, I wouldn't go and change what I studied, but who I am now, I would challenge that a little bit.
Yep.
Because I think how beautiful would it be if you could chase your passions and also retire your parents. And it's possible.
I agree. That's like with my whole pre-law to like education change. I feel like at first I was just like tied down to that route, but then once I knew like no, I can still like achieve the goal that I want to do for my mom, but still do it with like the passions that I have. So it's just kind of like finding a way in a sense to make both things happen.
So that is a goal of yours, retire your mother. What else?
I guess just like mentoring students, and just like helping them get into college. Like I said, I wish I had like more support, or just like was in an environment or just like a culture that like really cultivated that possibility of college, or another opportunity, whatever it is, like after graduation. So yeah, just like helping, mentoring like in any way that I can. That's why I am considering like becoming a teacher now. So in any way that I can, I guess just like helping students like get into college is like another goal of mine.
So helping others, retiring your mother. What about for you? For Julio, like what is a goal you have for yourself aside from anything career, aside from your family? What is a goal for you? And the reason I'm asking, I'm sorry that I cut you off. I asked you a question that I didn't even let you speak. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. But the reason I say this is because it's important to prioritize yourself as well. Very, very, very important. So I also believe in manifestation. I believe in intentionality too, but I believe in manifestation. So what is something that you want to accomplish for Julio and say like, this is for me?
I guess I don't have anything specific. I guess like for myself, like even you just bringing it up, like I was thinking, I'm like, okay, what do I want for myself? But yeah, I wouldn't say like anything specific, but I guess just like being I honestly don't know, like for myself, if I'm being like transparent. Yeah,
I would challenge that because it's important to prioritize yourself, your wants, your needs, your desires, your goals. Because and the reason I say this is because I think at the end of the day, our parents worked hard for us to have that option and to take advantage of that opportunity and to say, what do I love and what do I want for myself? Because it's important to take care of yourself. It's important to take care of your body. And it's something that I'm not learning until now, but it's important to take care of what you consume. It's important to take care of you know, I think a big thing for me personally right now is I only have like one body, you know what I mean? And I've had like 16 stitches, so I haven't done a really good job of taking care of my only one body. But it's important to like make sure that your mental health is good, that you were good, that you were doing stuff for yourself. The Romeo Santos concert, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I think it's easy to feel guilty. If it's easy to feel like I feel like I shouldn't have any of these experiences until I've helped my parents. That's how I felt for a while. Do you think you ever feel that way where you're like,
I think so. Like I am the same. I feel like I need to sort of like accomplish or make sure like I do have that goal first before like I can even like enjoy anything really. So yeah, I agree.
The reason I'm asking is because I see a lot of similarities of like my mentality in this conversation with you. Which take that as you will. I hope you're not offended. But I just mean it like I appreciate like your vision and your goals and the way that you are and the way that you operate so much, because I feel as though there are a lot of commonalities. But through the things that I've learned within the past years of my life, which haven't been that many, there isn't that big of an age gap, but it's to take care of yourself, to always remember like your why, like why you're doing what you're doing, and to not curse, right? But talk, yo. You know what I mean? Like, be confident in who you are. Be confident in everything that you're doing. Like, believe in yourself and believe in everything that you want for your future. Manifest it for yourself. It's okay to enjoy life. It's okay to go out and have a good time. It's okay to go out and have experiences. Because at the end of the day, I truly believe that that's what our parents, like, sacrificed for. You know what I mean? So in this process, as you continue, like, I wish someone would have just been like, don't forget about yourself. Because I don't know about your journey, but for my personal journey, I had a lot of healing to do. I have that's not past tense. I have a lot of healing to do. I have a lot of lessons that I need to reflect on. They were given to me, but they're not lessons learned, because I'm still trying to figure them out, you know. But also just giving yourself grace too. You know what I mean? Like, if you ever make a mistake, or if you ever, because I felt as though I was super hard on myself whenever I would mess up or not hold myself to these expectations that were not attainable. And I kept holding myself to certain goals that I felt like I could never reach. So every single time I felt disappointed. So then you feel like you're constantly changing something that you just can't grab. And I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I've experienced that a few times. But it's important to be like, okay, I was able to reach this goal. Like, I was able to get this opportunity. Like, I was able to do this. I was able to come into college. I was able to know myself enough to flex my major. I was able to enter this leadership position. You know, like, sing your praise is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's a goal. I'm sorry. I say I think and I know way too much. And I say I think instead of I know. I know that this platform is to empower. And I think that's something that I'm working on myself. I wouldn't ever say that, oh, I have everything figured out and I know how to empower myself so much that I'm going to go empower. And that's not true. But I would like for our community and our people to take pride in everything that they've done. You know what I mean? Like, after this conversation, I would love for you to be like, yeah, I'm Julio. You know, I'm Julio Domingo. I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. My parents are from Guatemala, and we'll make this the intro. My parents are from Guatemala and Mexico, and I am helping my siblings reach opportunities that my parents worked so hard for us to reach, and I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And I'm owning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I really appreciate your perspective a lot on life. I'm obviously via social media following everything that you've been able to accomplish with the organization, and felicidades. Like,
Thank
congratulations on everything you've been able to do. I know it's not always easy, and it's for me, I felt as though it was a bit emotionally draining, and I learned a lot about myself through that position. But I would just like to give you praise and recognize, and also just empower you, because you're really out here doing it.
Thank you. But I also want to shout out my team, because honestly, all that work, I feel like sometimes it just can't be all the credit can't go to me, because it takes a team to create that success. And just what Lasso is becoming now, I feel like it has grown, and the culture within Lasso is changing, and it's all because of my team. I really think for anything to be successful or just to work, your team has to have that passion. And I feel like all of us have that passion for Lasso, that we're just all working well together, and we are all friends as well, so the chemistry is there and the passion. So they my team has really helped Lasso as well.
Yeah that, and just that within itself is such a great leadership attribute as well. And also I think it's also just the unity that our community has is incredible. You know what I mean? Yep. It's we all come from different experiences, different backgrounds. You know, we may share the title of Latino or Latina or Latinx, but we're all just trying to push La Raza forward.
Yep, forward.
And I think that's something that's so beautiful to be a part of, and what we're striving to do. But I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the conversation. I really appreciate the love that you have for your mother. That's a weird statement. But I do because I feel the same way about my mother. And I think it's beautiful, and I just really appreciate this conversation. I really appreciate your insights and who you are as a person. I really appreciate this interaction. And I hope the communication continues moving forward. And I'm rooting for you and your success, your team's success, your family, your siblings. And I'm sure that you will continue. You will continue to do amazing things, as will your siblings, to push you and your generations forward. So props to you and everything that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. I also just want to appreciate you guys for having me, and it is an honor to be speaking with you, because I've heard so many great things about you, and just knowing even though I didn't really meet you before, I really do appreciate getting to know you now as well, and just getting to know we do have a lot of similarities. So yeah, it's really cool to meet you, and finally get to meet you, because I said, I've only heard great things about you, and so getting to meet you and seeing that firsthand, it really means a lot to me as well.
That life is challenging sometimes, man, but I didn't mean to cry in our first interaction, but man, I'm so if our generations to come are in hands leaders like yourself, we're gonna be okay.
You as well. You know, it's just everyone. You know, just we need more people like us to be able to just help our community and push our community forward. So yeah.
I appreciate it, Julio. I appreciate meeting you. It's been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm excited for the friendship to come out of this. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your flexibility with us. Like I said, I know it's a busy schedule, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. And this is Ali, season 2, episode 2 with Julio Domingo.